Hello. This is going to be It's going to be part one of a two-part video, just so that it's not all jumbled up together, and so that it doesn't wind up way too long to the point where people are like, "Okay, I'm bored. I don't want to watch this anymore." So I was thinking about some of the consequences of my mental illnesses. And before I get into it, I want to say that this is not necessarily typical of anyone who's suffering from a mental illness, because there are so many different mental illnesses, and even between people who have the same diagnosis, their symptoms, the intensity, the duration, how much it affects their lives varies greatly. So I'm not trying to make generalizations. I'm just saying from my personal experiences, this is what I've had to deal with. This video is going to be some of the negative consequences of my mental illnesses. First, I should probably give a little background for those who don't know. I have suffered from obsessive compulsive disorder since I was at least 7 or 8. I've suffered from depression at least since I was 10 or 11. I've suffered from anxiety probably as long as I've suffered from OCD, if not longer. I've suffered from borderline personality disorder, if not the actual disorder, then just traits. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even sure how long, probably at least since I was a teenager. And I've dealt with different I've dealt with social anxiety, I think generalized anxiety, or just my anxiety just being really high and intense. I've dealt with eating disorders, or at least not eating disorder, NOS, probably since I was at least in high school, if not younger. I'm not really sure. So having mental illnesses start as early as they did for me, I grew up feeling like I was not understood. I've got the message implicitly as well as explicitly that there is something wrong with me, and that I should pretend like there's nothing wrong, just sweep it under the rug, pretend like nothing's wrong to me, and just move on. Just, no one wants to know, no one cares, just stop it. Like, it's your fault, it's a decision you can make, just stop it like that. I know now that that's not how it works, but that's what I was taught growing up. That led me to feel like I was not as loved as my siblings. I was not as important. I was deemed kind of damaged goods, more or less. And it made me feel like there was something wrong with me as a person, instead of there being something wrong with how my brain worked. Either just how my thoughts worked, or with my brain chemistry, or both. And it's not a good way to grow up. Especially when you ask for help, you try to get help because you're scared of what's going on. You're a little kid and you don't understand what's going on. So you ask for help, you reach out for help from those who are supposed to take care of you, those who are supposed to protect you and help you along your journey to becoming who you are meant to be. And to have that just blow up in my face over and over again, it just reinforced the notion that I wasn't worthy of help, that there was something wrong with me as a person, and I should just stop saying it. There's no reason to mention it. I should just pretend it doesn't exist. As many of you probably know, if you ignore a problem, it's more likely than not going to become a worse problem. I don't care if it's a relationship problem, if it's a physical health problem, if it's a mental health problem, if it's you've fallen behind in a class, you don't understand the material in a class, you don't know how to do something, it's going to build up. If there's something wrong and you do not deal with it head on and try to get at the root of it right away or as quickly as possible, then it's just going to grow. It's going to mutate and take over more and more of your life and cause more and more havoc and chaos. And that's what happened for me. I'm not 100% certain, but I think at least part of the reason why I became depressed as young as I did, if not younger, because I'm not sure exactly on the time frame, was because I was dealing with OCD and anxiety, as well as an unstable household and not feeling safe at home, as well as not fitting in at school. And it just escalated from there, and I feel like, at least to an extent, if I'm not sure, I'm not going to say that it definitely would never have happened if I had actually gotten help when I was younger, or gotten actual help when I was younger, that I would never have developed some of the other issues that I've developed. But I don't think that I necessarily would have started using self-injury as a coping mechanism, or wouldn't have necessarily tried to control what I ate to cope with what was going on, even though I don't think that that was necessarily my intention consciously at the time. And yeah, I'm not saying I chose it on a conscious level. I'm just saying that on some level or another, I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I need something that's going to help. And I wound up finding really unhealthy coping mechanisms because I didn't have anything else to do. I didn't feel like I had anyone I could go to and ask for help. In school, I was picked on. I was made fun of. I was belittled. I did not fit in. There were times when I had friends, and for some reason or another, my friendships have always just or pretty much always, except for a few exceptions, and even those, there have been times where we've drifted apart and then come back together, but they seem to just drift apart. There's usually not a big blowout. It's just we wind up going our separate ways. And it's really lonely, and it makes me feel that much worse about myself. There were actually times, at least that I can think of in high school, where I would not really talk to people. I would talk to a select few people during the school day. Like, I would talk to my teachers if they asked questions. I would talk to my brother, my younger brother, because since he's only about a year younger than me, he was, except for in 6th grade, and kindergarten, he was always there in school with me, so I could talk to him about things. Or in 9th grade, sorry, too. But most of the people who would try to communicate with me, I just would ignore, because I had learned from experience that more likely than not, they were just trying to get under my skin. They were just trying to make fun of me, put me down, and I wasn't about to give them yet another chance to do that. I just would ignore them. And that made me feel even more and more isolated. And the fact that my freshman year of high school, I would go down to lunch and I would eat and I would sit with some people that I was kind of acquaintances with, but about halfway or three-quarters of the way through, something like that, the school year, I wound up feeling like I just couldn't stay down in the cafeteria for the whole lunchtime. There's just too much noise, too many people, too much commotion, and I just felt like, kind of like I couldn't breathe, and I just needed to get out of there. So I started not sitting down at lunch for the whole time. Like, I'd maybe go to the library or just sit out in the hall and wait. after I ate my food. And then I wound up actually not going down to lunch pretty much ever, except for like a few times my senior year when I got free lunch, and I would go down like on pizza day and get veggie pizza. That's when I was a vegetarian, not a vegan. And I would then try to leave because I just couldn't be around people, and I would just sit outside my classroom and listen to music, read, write, try to do homework, something like that. Or do other self-destructive things that I shouldn't have been doing in school, and I'm not proud of, so yeah, I don't really want to go into that. I have had to lie to people who I care about because I don't want them to worry about me. I don't want them to feel like they can't catch their breath because they never know what's going to happen to me. And I don't want them to worry that I'm doing badly all the time. So there have been times where I'll just lie and say that I'm alright, or whatever. Or maybe say that I'm not doing all that well, but not go into detail or kind of play it down. I have also had to deal with people treating me differently or like looking at me differently when they find out. And it's just like, okay, I'm still a person. I'm still the same person you knew. So why can't you just treat me like that? I've had my issues get in the way of doing as well as I could have in classes because I can't get myself motivated to do the work. I can't get myself motivated to study. In college, I can't get myself motivated all the time to go to class and to pay attention and all that. Hold on. I took notes and I've jotted down notes and I'm trying to, or typed out notes, I'm trying to remember what else I said. Oh yeah, I pretty much always feel like crap about myself and about life and just kind of want to curl up into a ball and cry my eyes out and like not exist, which is always fun. And I pretty much never feel motivated to go out and do things and have fun, even if I really want to. I don't feel well, I don't feel motivated. I just would rather stay in bed or stay on my computer and be online all day instead. And that's actually why it was part of why my brother was so surprised that I went to a dance on Thursday, but like I mentioned in my first video, because I'm not the type of person who usually goes out and does that kind of thing. Like I usually just am like a homebody and whatever. So I kind of couldn't completely blame him for saying that. That was still kind of annoying. And I'm gonna say, I think like one more thing and wrap it up because this one's getting long. I also, at least partially because of the depression, I feel like there's no hope. There's just this emptiness that's swallowing me whole, slowly but surely, which is never a good thing, especially when things have been so bad for so long that I don't even know what it's like to live without mental illnesses at this point. Like I cannot really remember, and I want to be free so badly, but I don't even know if what I'm fighting for is something that I would actually want. If it would, I'm not saying I still want to be sick, because I don't. I'm just saying that I don't know what it's like to be able to get up and go and do things and feel not necessarily wonderful, but at least alright, and not have my baseline be like here, like the bottom, oh crap, that's not working, like like be like here, actually no, here, like here, and then sometimes it goes down to like here, and then sometimes it's like up to here, but then only for like a little bit, and then it goes back down to here or here. Like, it's just really not helpful how my mood fluctuates. It's so irritating because I never know what to expect. I don't know if I'm going to be in a good mood, or if I'm going to have the energy. So trying to make plans and think ahead, it's really kind of difficult. And I hate the fact that my illnesses have taken so much from my life and have affected me so much in every aspect of my life. And the fact that I am almost 21, I still do not have my license, I still do not have a car, I still do not have a job. And it just makes me feel like crap about myself because I should have those things already. It's like I'm an adult and yet I cannot support myself, I cannot take care of myself and meet my basic needs without assistance from my mom. And I feel like I shouldn't have to rely on her so much. And I feel like I kind of ask too much of her, even though I know she wants me to succeed, she wants me to survive and thrive, as she said. I know that. It's just, it still makes me feel guilty. I'm going to wrap this up because it's way too long and I still have at least 1 or 2 more videos to make, and I have things that I should probably get trying to do. So take care everyone, stay strong.